It's hard to believe I've been working on this on autonomous vehicles for over 10 years. We had that piece of legislation that passed this Energy and Commerce Committee unanimously. It passed the floor. Unfortunately, we didn't get it through the Senate. But, I think that it's important as we look back that the number of highway deaths that we see out there in traffic and what's caused out there. We look at about 94% of all the accidents being caused out there because of driver error. And I ride just about every year with the Ohio Highway Patrol, and when the troopers were out on the road, they can point out quickly people that are not paying attention. And so, we want to make sure that we get this legislation passed, because we're going to be reintroducing the legislation because we got to get it done, because there's a lot of reasons. But one of the things I've said, it's so important when we go look at this, is it's always been safety first, safety last, safety always. And so, Mr. Farah, as we look forward and going with the AVs that need to be as safe or safer than any vehicle on the road today, it's notable that, an AV is never tired, it's never distracted, it's never impaired. But how else can we ensure that when an AV is on the road, it meets that threshold and can detect and respond to relevant road users?
Congressman Latta, I want to first start by thanking you for all your efforts over the course of a very long time and acknowledge all the effort that you put into this issue. I don't think there's anyone in Congress who's thought more deeply about this and been more committed to this. I know you've worked very closely with Congresswoman Dingell as well. I know she stepped out of the room here, but wanted to acknowledge her work as well. And very pleased to work with you again to try and advance this legislation. And I think that you've really articulated why this is so important from a safety perspective, from an economic perspective, and from a strategic competitor perspective. And so I think that there's a couple of things that we need to do here really to make sure that we are advancing public trust. And one of those is making sure that the federal government is speaking to vehicle design, construction, and performance issues, which only it can speak to uniformly. And that's something that's going to be married with a lot of the great efforts that have happened in a variety of U.S. states, including in your state of Ohio. And so from a federal perspective, what we would like to see with federal AV legislation is speak first and foremost to trying to get rulemakings off the ground at the Department of Transportation, specifically NHTSA, that work to build public trust, requiring a safety case, requiring a driving behavioral competency test, and also creating this national AV safety data repository that I talked with Representative Mullen about. In addition to that, there's also a lot of issues around vehicle design that we would very much like to see Congress speak to, specifically trying to make sure that we clarify that manual controls that are meant for human drivers are not applicable to level 4 or level 5 autonomous driving systems. That is the way we can modernize the federal motor vehicle safety standard. That is the way we can lead to more accessible vehicles that serve more Americans.
Well, thank you. Mr. Bozzella, in your testimony, you mentioned the importance of modifying the make inoperable provision. Will you share why this is so essential?
Yes, and it builds, I think, very much on Mr. Farah's comments. We have federal motor vehicle safety standards that are built around hands and feet and heads and eyes, and we also have vehicles that have steering wheels and pedals and the like. In an AV context, especially in perhaps a level 3 AV context, where the vehicle is both able to be operated autonomously, say in a highway setting or in a traffic jam setting, those manual controls don't go away, but they need to be made inoperative while the ADS, the automated driving system, is in control. Federal regulation is unclear about what to do about that, so it's important that the law clarify that a manufacturer can do that, right? And so all the testing has been done, all of the certification's been done, safety has been assured. When the system is engaged, when the ADS is driving, those controls should be disengaged. Current federal regulation doesn't allow a manufacturer to disengage systems that are required by federal law right now, or federal standards right now.
Well, thank you. Ms. Farah, I only got about 17 seconds left, but real quickly, what happens if we don't act? What's going to happen? Especially when we look at foreign competition, where it might be coming from. I only got about 7 seconds, sorry.
Congressman, I'll say very briefly that while the United States invented autonomous vehicles, we are currently the leader. We are far from the only country that wants to be the global leader. China, and specifically the Communist Party in China, is very dedicated to being the global leader on autonomous vehicles. We need a federal policy framework in place to help this industry move faster and ultimately lead globally.
Well, thank you very much, and I yield back.